Yo, chat. Chat, everybody watch right now. Everybody watch right now, chat. This is about to go on a highlight reel. You ready?
Are you sure about that?
Throwing it up.
No, I missed. How did I miss? No, I just screwed up. Oh my gosh. So we all know that Apex Season 15 is a big season and they got a lot to prove here. I'd argue many people are sitting on the fence determining whether or not they're going to continue to play this game, and it's all coming down to Season 15. I don't think this game will die if the season wasn't good, but it definitely would take a big hit, which is why today we're talking about something that Respawn has finally answered, fixed, changed, whatever you want to call it, after many fans have been talking about it. There's actually a couple topics in today's video that can fit under that title, so like the video, subscribe to the channel. Let's jump right into it. For those of you still not subscribing, that funny clip at the beginning of the video was made by my wife, so show her some support. Click that red button. So first thing I wanted to mention here, so there's been a big outrage over the last couple of months when it comes to Apex Legends for a couple reasons. Number one, Pathfinder does not have a passive, and many people have been very aggravated about that. And then number two, there's been a very annoying meta when it comes to the wall hack meta, as some people call it, or the scanning meta, as other people call it, in Apex. So in yesterday's video, we talked about how Respawn's looking to make a little bit of a change when it comes to these classifications of these legends, because I really think that they're trying to get this more consistent play style of how BR is going to be played, especially when you look at games like League of Legends. Like, it's very consistent to have specific roles on the map at all times. I think a defensive legend is a pretty guaranteed something you want on your team, and I think at the end of the day there's always going to be a stronger meta over the other. So I think the better play, instead of having three specific legends that are just absolutely the best over every other team in the game, it may just be better to have three legend classifications that are way better to be played on BR than other legend classifications. For instance, the meta can stop being Valk, Horizon, and Seer, or Gibby, Valk, and Fuse, or whatever the legend meta might be, and instead it can be more like an assault meta, a defensive meta, and a support meta. That way, if those classifications are the meta, you can use any legend in those classifications and honestly have a good chance. Now, I spoke about that in yesterday's video because we know that this new map is made for defensive style legends, and we know that the new legend is a defensive style legend herself. However, there's another thing to note, because Respawn has actually teased the fact that they're looking into making changes to these legend classifications, and we actually had this from the Reddit AMA and also from some leaks that I think Thornton Smash made months ago. This was actually saying from Devin himself. This is the lead Respawn game designer here, and he said this. So someone asked a question about adding new support legends into the game, and he responded saying, "You'll have to wait and see which each new season holds, I'm afraid, but support legends are one of the more difficult roles to bring into Apex without over indexing and healing and resets that make fights drag on and upset the already high TTK of the game. That being said, though, we do want to bring a more balanced roster of class roles to the table in the future at some point." So this lines up with the leak that Apex is actually looking to make some legend classification changes. And if you're confused on what I'm saying by that, you'll know over the last couple of seasons we've had a very weird problem in this game where there's some legends that are under certain classifications, and then all of a sudden they don't make sense in that classification anymore, and then you need to move to another classification, but then wait a second, that passive doesn't make sense for that legend, so we'll just take it away. And it's just really mumbo jumbo right now. And the article talking about that said the leak suggests that Respawn will be adding more legend classes to the game, and while there isn't an exact number for this yet, Thornton says that it would be more than 3. The main reason that Respawn want to do this, supposedly to rework the legend passives and to place legends in new classes that make more sense to what they currently do. For example, you would see mobility legend classes for characters like Octane, Valkyrie, and Pathfinder. Valkyrie and Pathfinder are currently in the recon class, but they seem to be much more mobility based than Bloodhound and Seer, who rely on tracking the enemy. I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that the legends can be drastically different now than when they were first launched into the game, therefore they might fit under some different classification. Then we had an instance where there were some legends that were too good at the game, I guess like Watson and Wraith or whatever back then at the time, so they made them take higher percentages of damage. And then legends that were a little bit bigger and heavy set and not as good as the game. I think back in the day Gibby was not nearly as good, so they made Gibby not take as much damage, and it was just so unclear of like what the true stats of the game were. There were so many wonky settings, and I think the goal of these new legend class roles that they're working on are basically to eliminate all of that confusion and make things make more sense. This specific system of Apex definitely needed this attention, and I'm glad that they're doing so. However, that's not the only thing that Apex Legends has finally taken a look at and making some changes to. We do know that there's actually been an instance where people have been complaining and saying that Seer is way too overpowered in this game and needs a change or needs a nerf or needs someone who can actually be a counter to him. So another thing people are complaining about when it comes to the wall hack meta, the scanning legends in this game, a lot of this conversation was taking place over on Reddit as well during this AMA, and a lot of Respawn developers were responding to it. Devin also made this response here saying, "We are actively looking into the frustration that can come from these abilities and finding ways to reduce it without crippling the identity of the legends who wield them. And then also said things like this when it comes to Seer, because people were asking for a Seer nerf, saying they are considering with the Seer's recent rise into the meta that they're noticing the power of Seer's passive taken to great extremes, and it's been a big topic of discussion in their balance meeting. So you actually might see a nerf of Seer's passive at some point. I do think the heartbeat thing is a little overkill. However, they also had some conversations like this. It was coming from on Twitter today, saying that Respawn does not want to buff Bangalore Smoke because they don't want her to be the answer to the scan meta. So instead, they just made Catalyst the answer to the scan meta. Definitely need some clarification there. If you guys do not remember this picture from the Reddit AMA, Devin also said, I can't speak about future changes at this point, knowing very well that Catalyst was right around the corner. That would probably be anti-Seer. If you guys did not see in the trailer yesterday, Seer threw up his ultimate ability, and for whatever reason, Catalyst was actually like going against it and countering Seer's ability. Seer had zero idea that Catalyst was right behind him. It's definitely an interesting topic, but a lot of people are saying, look, at the beginning of the trailer, it says it's not real gameplay, it's just for the cinematic purpose. So I'm not really entirely sure how it's going to work. So this is one question I've really been wanting to ask to get people's feedback on, is if you had the actual option to change and balance the game right now for Apex Legends, what are 3 major changes that you would make first? Like if you were only allowed to make 3 changes, what are the 3 changes you would make when it comes to balancing the game? I'm interested to know what you guys think is most important, least important, or things that are just needing to be done ASAP. While we're on the topic of Apex changing things, there's actually been some discussions in the past as well as to why Respawn still has a very small development team, because a lot of the things that we want in this game, they keep coming back to say, well, oh, we have a small team, we can't really do all of this excess work because we don't want to do crunch time. But a lot of people have said, bro, you've had 3 years to expand this dev team. Well, we actually did get a little bit of a tweet from Chad Armstrong yesterday saying that they are now hiring, but it's not necessarily just like new hirees, it's like interns. So maybe this is a way for them to get more help at maybe a cheaper price. I'm not really sure how internship works. I'd imagine though they're probably not paying an intern as much as they are someone who's already had previous experience over at a different organization. But yeah, they did make this announcement yesterday saying that they are hiring, and it's a lot of opportunities. There's some many things over at Respawn. A lot of things obviously are Apex Legends related, like animator intern, environment concept intern, hard surface character concept interns. That'd be pretty cool though, that a student can literally become an intern and give concepts for some of the legends. You guys have actually given me some really good legend concepts in the past that I'm interested to see, and it'd actually be cool to see some of your concepts come to life in the game. Someone came up with the idea of this fire pyro legend at one point, and it was like an octane type energy, like a crackhead energy, but it was like all fire related. It was really sick. But yeah, many jobs are open for Apex related stuff, so it's good to see that they are trying to grow their team. Welcome to our quick Apex news section, the Golden Nuggets. If you've made it this far, comment down below Golden Nuggets. Got some quick Apex news I'm going to run through rapid fire real quick. One of the reasons that they definitely needed to up that dev team and how many people they had, because the hacker situation is absolutely insane. This was coming from Twitter yesterday. This guy's been blatantly cheating for months in the Apex Legends rank scene, and he's actually Apex Predator as well. There's also these clips right here of these guys are hacking live over on TikTok and not being banned, and they have like 30 different accounts that they're all doing it on. There's like multiple live streams of people hacking live. I'm not talking about the trend where people were doing the stream overlays and having it look like they were hacking and it was all for jokes and fun. It's not that. It's legit hacking. And also, if you guys are not aware, Asu is no longer a part of NRG. He made his departure yesterday as they gave him a very warm farewell, and a lot of people were obviously a little emotional about this. Asu is one of the big goats of all time, and especially giving some big shout out to Dizzy here. These guys are the OG goats, and it is sad to see things move on, people progress, and things not be what they once were, but that is a part of life, and unfortunately he is no longer a part of the NRG fam. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. Like the video, make sure you subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one. Later, Gators.